Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. The Simplified King James from Barbour, kind of much anticipated. A lot of people have been looking for KJV alternatives, KJVR, MEV, on and so forth. And so this is another in that long line. Of course, New King James, 2 by J.P. Green, King James 3, the Children's King James. Again, just so much. Textus Receptus, the Divine Name King James. And so we're going to see what makes us different. And it's kind of like two reviews in one. We're going to review the translation and the Bible itself. So it comes in kind of a corrugated hardback. Not sure all the other, we may see if it's on the front page in there, all of the other formats it comes in. So I'm trying to do this like as a special, we put our videos ahead a few weeks, and so I may try to squeeze this one in. It's got a beautiful white ribbon marker, headband, tailband, and gray interior, which is really nice. You can tell instantly it's my sewn. Has a presented to, and it's not thicker paper, it's regular Bible paper. And so this is put out 2022, and I don't see where it says, like a lot of times over here it'll say like also comes in leather, soft leather flex, and on and so forth. So let me read to you what's on the fly leaf. The trusted King James Version just got easier to read. Brand new treatment of time-tested King James Bible. These people are in Ehrlichsville, Ohio, I think. Features simplified verb forms, punctuation, and paragraphing. Adds capitalization for divine pronouns and quotation marks. Retains original translation work for accuracy and cadence of reading. I'm going to read just a little bit more. There's a page here on the Simplified KJV. Look how it lays flat there. Unbelievable hardbacks are Smithsonian. In the English language, no Bible translation has had the long-lasting impact of the King James Version. After its completion in 1611, the KJV was destined to become the standard Bible translation in both quality and popularity, and that's really around the world. Because of its widespread use, the King James Version began to shape the language and thinking of the English-speaking world, and its influence continues even today. But the wording, spelling, punctuation, other details of the King James Bible, now more than 4 centuries old, can be hard to understand for readers of the 21st century. That's why we created the Simplified KJV. On page 1203, it says we've got further information of the Kgw Updating Process. So updating old verb forms, replacement of outdated terms with contemporary equivalents, kind of like the Defined Bible by D.A. Waite Jr., modernizing of archaic forms of address, addition of quotation marks to spoken language. I remember I sold a Bible to a English lady one time, like a professor, and she was really put off because it didn't have quotation marks. Capitalization of divine pronouns for clarity, shortening of long sentences, along with modernization of punctuation. Insertion of paragraph breaks were helpful, even though the original had what they call pilcrows. So here's what it looks like. It has really good margins, has really good in-text headers, smallish print. I'm not sure where that is, but I'm guessing 8-ish. I'm not going to pull out the famed print size measurer, but because it's kind of inaccurate, it's kind of an approximation. Not everybody's 8-point print's the same, and on and so forth. It's very clear, has a little bit of ghosting, turns like wonderful. Has introductions. I've noticed the introductions are just a tad what I would consider liberal. It's not like really conservative. I was going to show you a place with a lot of red lettering too. Red letterson. There you go. That will be somebody's handle probably on some social media site, if it's not already, Red Letterson. But you can see the red lettering, and I'll just give you like my subjective view of that. Again, it's got really good margins. We're going to do a read in a minute. Just read some of it, see if we can tell any differences. But, you know, it's very good versionation for a paragraph Bible. You almost never see that. With a paragraph Bible, it's almost impossible. So you could actually take this one to church, I think, and follow along. But really good margins. Let's take a look at how wide that margin is. Yeah, it's a 1.625 inches, I think. Yeah, I think so. And even got decent margins at the top, like a 0.625 inches, a little bit in the gutter, a little bit at the bottom. Let's do the gutter. Maybe 0.425 in the gutter, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then it's got at the back, it's got the Skjv revision process. So here's what this is. What was I reading through? I was reading through the Schuyler Traveris recently. I'd read through, I think it was in the New Testament, and I'm on my, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th time through the New Testament, and I noticed the word holy was not in red letter in a place it should have been in red letter. I couldn't believe it. And then it's got a wonderful dictionary and concordance, very readable print. Let's look at the Bible maps. It's a really good size too. It's a little wide but very thin. It's a very carryable Bible. And then we'll get to where we just read some on the inside here. I do want to pull out this ribbon marker and show you a little bit there. You know, and Barbour's just been doing great publishing Bibles. There's a King James Study Bible by Barbour, on and on. Whitaker House been doing pretty good with Bibles too. They do the Sword Bible, the Sword Study Bible. But I think it's got a total of 8 maps. I didn't count, but usually it's either like 8 to 15 to 16. Something tells me I better count. Just a little bit of blank pages in the front. But you can tell it's very well made. Let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, Lord Jesus, I was right. Now this is a spine stabilization page. Don't try to pull it apart. Most of you knew that. So you right there, that's a very good quality paper there. So let's just start reading a little bit. Okay. So the 10 lepers healed in Luke 17, beginning at verse 11. A lot of you would know that. And it came to pass as he went to Jerusalem that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village, 10 men who were lepers, who stood afar off, met him. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And when he saw them, and he said to them, and now we've got quotation marks, go show yourselves to the priest. Came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and with a loud voice glorified God and fell down on his face at his feet, at God's feet, the great oneness, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus answered and said, were there not 10 cleansed, but where are the 9? Now notice I'm 56, no glasses, not extraordinary vision. I'm able to read it. So that gives you a little hint that it's readable. There are none found who returned to give glory to God save this foreigner. And he said to him, arise, go your way, your faith has healed you. Now I'm wondering if they took out the ye, you, thee, thou distinctions, which are very important in understanding. Now, let's look at verse 19. And he said unto him, arise, go thy way. Yeah, see, thy is singular. Here it says, and he said, arise, go your way. Your faith has healed you. And thy faith hath made thee whole. And instead of made you whole, your faith has healed you. So just from that little bit, you can tell there's pretty substantial differences. Now, I did want to say this too. A lot of times, it's been my experience. Let's say if I was to go to the 23rd Psalm, the Lord's Prayer, very famous, popular John 3:16 passages, they tend to leave those alone a lot of times. And I think that's just, they say it's for familiarity, and it probably is. I don't want to impugn anybody's motives or anything. But, sometimes it's like, well, see, it reads just like the other, but then they get you with some pretty substantial changes other places. So let's do one more. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 20, verse 5. 1 Chronicles, we did one New Testament. We'll do an Old Testament here. 1 Chronicles 20, verse 5. I'm trying to write in the margins of a church Bible publishing Bible for it's a giveaway, like an auction for Bible quizzing. Man, that's taken me a long time, but I'm learning a lot too. Okay, so 20 and 5 in the King James. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair, slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair, slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. Okay, so now we're going to go to chapter 21, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to count Israel. So to number Israel, count Israel. So, some of you won't be bothered by the changes. Some, maybe many, will be. I may have to do some further comparisons with this in some other Bibles. But let's measure it, because I said this is kind of two reviews in one. So it's 9 1/4 inches, which that's not real tall at all. Not tall at all. And so let's see how wide it is. If anything, it's a little wider than normal. Yeah, 6.75 inches, which is not terrible. Not in the least. 6.75 inches. Then it's going to be really thin. Smith's on the quality, can't be questioned. I got this from Christian Book. Yeah, it's about 1.25 inches. Appreciate Sister Waldron zooming in and out there. So the Simplified King James Version, it's probably, for a big King James guy like me, it's going to be infinitely better than the New King James. But a lot of people like Young's literal translation and stuff. I don't know. Would I let, if I had children, would I let them, I don't know. Read it as just to get the feel for things. Anyhow, the Simplified King James, Trusted King James Version, just easier to read, by Barbour. The color is pewter branch. Very well done. It's got the white edges, it's not gilt edges, but can't argue with the quality. Anyhow, let us know what you think. God bless it. And do help us out, keeping your comments to just 2 or 3 lines. What's happening is we've had so many people coming and writing mini theses, and that's even problematic. But then they get mad when I don't answer them point by point. And literally, I have maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day at most to answer things, because I'm a pastor, a lot of other things in ministry, just a lot. So I just don't have time. So God bless you. Talk with you later. Join us daily. Bye-bye.